There is one critical virus that you must catch and not get inoculated against. You don't want a shot for this one. It is the virus known as enthusiasm. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And today we're going to be talking about enthusiasm, which is a critical piece of the puzzle that you must embrace. And keep in mind that anybody that achieves anything great not only has enthusiasm themselves, but also is able to transmute that enthusiasm about their idea, their goal, their objective to other people so that they will also have that same enthusiasm and move forward. Enthusiasm is such a key element. One of the things that one of my mentors taught me was, when you take a look at the word enthusiasm, the last four letters are AISM, which stands for I am sold myself. Now, once again, I want to give a disclaimer. You got to read the book. This is not meant to take the place of the book. And secondly, a shout out to Earl Nightingale, who created a video called Condensed Think and Grow Rich, from which I've taken some of the verbiage, but a lot of stuff I'm going to be adding here today. Now, I want you to keep in mind when you're listening to some of this verbiage from Earl Nightingale, this was done back in the 50s, early 60s. And at that time, there was a mindset that the man was the breadwinner, that the man made all the decisions, and so on and so forth. You know, there was Ward Cleaver, who was out to work, and then there was June Cleaver, who stayed at home, was a housewife, and so on. Certainly, times have changed significantly with that mindset. But I want to be clear with you on this. You know what? That was never really the mindset in reality. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. Let me give you one from sales when I was out in the field selling. One of the rules of selling when you got into the home was that you made 51% of your presentation to the wife and 49% to the husband. Why? Because if the wife says, no, I don't want it, you had virtually no prayer of getting the sale. That's because of the personal relationship between the husband and the wife. Enthusiasm, that is the enthusiasm, this 10th principle from Napoleon Hill on enthusiasm comes from the channeling of all bodily drives into positive, worthwhile outlets. Mr. Hill is very specific when what he's talking about. It's the mastery of sex transmutation. It's in this chapter that Napoleon Hill describes the importance of the woman, the one and only woman, in the achievement of a worthwhile goal. It seemed quite significant to Mr. Hill that practically every great leader was a man, which by the way has been changed, was a man whose achievements were largely inspired by a woman, or to make it more modern, by a partner. When things get tough, and you can count on it that they're going to get tough, you may be deserted by what you thought were friends. But if you've got a good woman, a good partner, then you'll never be alone. He or she will be willing to start over again, if necessary, and they will give you the new enthusiasm that comes through their faith in you. So having that particular enthusiasm, and it doesn't necessarily have to come with a sexual orientation. It can come from a familial, as an example, component. As an example, with this particular channel, what we're doing here is my drive. What motivates me is my son Eli. All right, so I mean, I'm divorced. It's my son Eli that's what motivating me. It gives me that enthusiasm. Having someone to love is having someone to share your success and accomplishments, to give you the praise that all of us need from time to time. A man can become successful without a wife and family, but all the real joy is taken out of that. Take care of your wife and children as your greatest possessions. They will provide you with the enthusiasm that you need so that you can overcome the various detours and roadblocks that are sure to be there on the highway of success. One of the things that's very important that was taught to me by one of my mentors was the importance of, when you do have, in my case it was a woman, but a partner, then it's critical that they be on board with what it is you're trying to pursue. One of the companies that I worked with had a tremendously effective strategy. It was a sales organization, and what they would do is, if you made a certain number of sales, or if you were the manager of the office and your office made a certain number of sales, they would have a trip planned every so often, like there were 2 or 3 trips every single year. And once you qualified for that, then you got to go on those trips, and you could take your significant other person, your SOP, with you. What did that do? Well, first of all, it motivated you so that, you said, I got to do one more, I got to do one more, I got to do more, I got to accumulate. You kept score, you kept track. Once again, measuring results is a key to success. And the second thing it did was, when we would stay out late to make an additional sale, and you came home and you would say, honey, I was out late because I had another sale to make, so that we could make that trip to the Bahamas, or make that trip to Rio de Janeiro, a couple of the places that I got to go to with my significant other, and get them to cooperate. And when they had these trips, they made these trips so fabulous. They paid particular attention to the significant other person, because these were the people that were doing it, getting the job done, and in order to get them to continue to get the job done, you wanted to have the wife or the spouse or significant other in your corner. And if they had an unbelievably great time on that trip, what do you suppose the next time happened when there was another trip that was on the docket that you could qualify for? They would say, okay, honey, yes, stay out late, go out, make some more sales, make some more sales. It was a brilliant strategy, and it worked effectively, because, once again, keep in mind the 80-20 principle. 20% of the people produce 80% of the results. You want to focus on that 20% to maximize your results. A brilliant strategy. Once again, enthusiasm, the 10th principle from the book, Think and Grow Rich. Next time we get together, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, the subconscious mind. And because we're never going to end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.